legal reasoning assist in coming to a conclusion whether or not the resurrection occurred? Why is it that so many lawyers that have looked into this have become Christians?
If the evidence is evaluated by the same standards that apply in any legal case, the result is the conclusion that Jesus rose again from the dead. And since lawyers are experts in evidence and testimony, that means a great deal to them. Concretely, there was a book done some years ago, not by a lawyer, but by a man who was very much influenced by legal reasoning, Frank Morrison. The book is entitled, Who Moved the Stone? It's a classic of Christian apologetics. And in this book, Morrison reasons as a lawyer. He says, if Jesus didn't rise again from the dead, you're going to have to explain the missing body on Easter morning. The missing body. Now, bodies do not walk out of tombs unless there's a resurrection. So, if Jesus didn't rise again from the dead, someone must have taken it. There are only three interest groups in the situation: the Romans, the Jewish religious leaders, and the disciples. Would the Romans have stolen the body? Are you kidding? They are not in the provinces engaging in body snatching. They had no interest in doing so. To the contrary, they would have wanted, as Pilate did, to keep things quiet at all costs, and certainly leaving the body where it was would achieve that. The Jewish religious leaders were the very last people on the face of the globe to want to steal the body, because they were at a disadvantage if even a rumor got started that Jesus had risen again from the dead. Indeed, they went to the Romans, asked for a guard for the tomb so that no rumors would start about the resurrection. What about the disciples? Well, listen to this closely. If the disciples had stolen the body, they then would have gone out and died for something they knew to be untrue. Now, people die for things that are untrue. I mean, all the way through history, people have died for lame-brained religious ideas. But it's one thing to die for something you think is true and it isn't, and a very different thing to die for something you know very well is untrue. Eusebius, his ecclesiastical history in the 4th century, has one of his very few humorous paragraphs on the subject, in which he suggests that the disciples are sitting around after Easter and they say, well, of course, he didn't rise again from the dead and we took the body and all that, but let's go out and tell people that he rose again from the dead. Won't it be fun? Of course, we'll lose all our property, we'll lose our friends, and let's see, they crucified him. There's no telling what they're going to do to us, but it'll be fun. Let's go ahead and do it anyway. I mean, this is just logically out of the question.